You're listening to SM Media, the home of exclusive West of Scotland Football League content. Hi folks, and welcome to the latest episode of the SM Media West of Scotland Football Show. I'm Scott McPike. It's an absolute pleasure to be your host as always. It's a pleasure to welcome this week's special guest. It's a pleasure to have on the West Park United manager, Iain Kennedy. Iain, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you on.
How you doing, Scott? All right, thanks a lot, mate.
No, it's a pleasure.
Pleased to be here, mate.
It's all good. All good. Looking forward to this.
Be gentle with me.
I'll try my best. Been a busy weekend, obviously. We've got a lot to get through. The one thing I want to obviously touch on at the start, Darvel, obviously the Scottish Cup. You were at the game. You had a vested interest, you'll no doubt explain in a wee second. But probably a sore one for Darvel. They got a heavy defeat 5-1 with Falkirk. Falkirk were by far the better team. They did deserve to win. Very good, and I thought they were very good to watch. And it showed, before we get into talking about the game, the journey Darvel have went on. It's brilliant for the West as a level. And obviously, there's a lot of pride the Darvel players, manager, everybody at the club, the league will take from that.
Yeah, I think it's incredible what Darvel have actually done. But what I will say is this: I've watched a lot of Scottish Championship, League One, League Two. I've watched a lot of it, and I've said before, I think some of the West teams are more than capable.
Yeah.
And Darvel have absolutely proved that, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I know Falkirk took the game last night in the end and were the better team. But, well, we'll say it 2-1. Darvel had gone through a wee spell there where they can come back into the game. And I think if they come back into the game and get an equaliser, then chances are they're going to win again.
The red card the red card kind of killed them, didn't it?
Aye, I mean, I've got to say, I mean, I was obviously there. And I did have a different interest than Darvel, obviously. My boys playing with Falkirk. So I'm more there for that. But it's good to watch it. But I don't know what the boys think about, man. Where they send it off.
I know.
Man, it's a sully booking. He'll be absolutely livid with himself, and he'll learn for it. But listen, I think Darvel have been an absolute pleasure to watch. Anyway, I watched the Aberdeen game and I thought, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But like I said, it's not something that shocks me.
I mean, like, I think a lot of people had the thought, like, we're obviously beating Aberdeen and going into a game against Falkirk, it would be a similar type of atmosphere. I mean, you can tell, obviously, I wasn't there. You'll know better than me from being at the game. Like, to get that many people into Darvel Stadium, like, it's unbelievable, and the atmosphere must have been brilliant because it's so tight. It's behind a street, and it's like it's a real tight atmosphere, but it's a brilliant atmosphere, and you can obviously mix pre-match talk and things like that. It gets you, it's get you going. It's designed. It's a fairy tale. It is. It's a fairy tale, and it's a fairy tale for the village and a fairy tale for everybody there, and it's something they'll remember forever.
Yeah, I think that's exactly that. I mean, I went with my boy and my oldest boy's pal, and we're getting in, and they were a bit like that. What's happening here? But I'm thinking, I said to him, I went, listen, this is the best way to watch a game of football.
Yeah.
This is the way it always was. This is what I remember 40 odd years ago. I said, but this was always, I mean, I loved it. I mean, I know people were complaining about, it's too tight, you couldn't see it on that. Get at it, man, it was brilliant. So, I liked it, and it was brilliant for Darvelton. I mean, that's quality, absolute quality.
Yeah.
So we're going to make them stronger and better and all, by the way.
Aye, and it's the same for like West clubs as well. Like, every West club will be sitting this year, like the teams that have obviously got their SFA membership and teams that are going for it.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example as to why they need to, because that sort of thing can happen to them. Like it's the beauty of the cup and things like that. But any team's capable of doing it, and you never know. And it's not just that. That's 2 TV games for Darvel. That's a lot of money.
Oh man, hey, listen, that's money I'm sure Darvel going to well invest.
Yeah.
They've been shy to invest anyway, so they're going to just get even stronger for that. Yeah. And I mean, people forget the Montrose result. The Montrose result is incredible at all. I've watched Montrose. They're a hard team to beat. They're stuffy and they're hard to go up there got there and score 5 is, listen, good on them, man. I'm happy for it anyway.
Yeah.
It was nothing that I'm surprised about.
Yeah, obviously you were at the game. Obviously, Kai was playing, and like when you look at like Falkirk are a really good side. They're obviously second in League One, but like for example, Falkirk. What would have been Falkirk's thoughts going into that game? Like, obviously, Darvel would beat Aberdeen and things like that. It would have been some occasion for Falkirk as well, and I thought they did play really well. I thought in stages they were really good.
Well, if I'm being completely honest, mate, I thought I had wee laughs and jokes with Kai all week about it.
Yeah.
I thought, I watched a lot of Falkirk, obviously, but I kind of thought Darvel have got a right chance here.
Mm-hmm.
But what I did say was, if Darvel aren't allowed to play and Falkirk get on top of them, I think they'll find it hard to get out of that. Mm-hmm. And I thought that's what they've done. I thought John McGlynn got it absolutely right, to be honest. Distances on the sides and not letting people play, when to press, when not to. I thought they were really, really good at it, and I don't think Darvel dealt with it very well, if I'm being honest. I don't think they like to press. I thought Aberdeen sat off a bit, and that allowed Darvel to play. Mm-hmm. What I will say is, your man Trousdale going off is a massive loss for Darvel, because that boy's class. I mean, he's a class act. And if you lose a class act in a game like that, you're going to feel it. And I thought he did feel it, to be fair, because he was a man that was pulling it in and making it tick. And him going off changes the game, definitely. Yeah. And then obviously the red card is just mental. But I mean, from Falkirk point of view, I'm not going to say that Falkirk were confident, but they were quietly confident. I think they thought Darvel had had their day against Aberdeen, and Falkirk kind of thought, right, if we go in here and do our thing, we'll be all right. Mm-hmm. And to be fair, I thought they did. I thought they'd done their homework. And I know just personally that the analysis that John McGlynn and the homework he'd done on Darvel was absolutely incredible. Yeah. And to be fair, it paid off. And it's massive for Falkirk too, by the way, financially.
Yeah, definitely. But it's been a great journey for Darvel, and again, one they want to make sure that it happens again. But it's been some season, obviously Scottish Cup, and it gives a lot of the West teams an opportunity to go in. Junior Cup wise, we did have 4 quarter-finals. Glenafton, Cumnock and Rutherglen are through to the quarter-finals. We're recording this just after the draw's been made. Cumnock will play Glenafton, and Rutherglen Glencairn will play East Craigie. That's quite exciting, isn't it? And all this for semi-final, and Rutherglen obviously go to... I think they're both going to be neutral venues from what I hear, but Rutherglen, Dundee, East Craigie, and an all-Ayrshire derby. That's quite exciting.
Well, that's a belter. That's an absolute belter, that. That'll be class. We played Glenafton. Start of the season in a pre-season match. I liked them. I've got to say I liked them, and I know they're picking up results here and there and getting better and better. And I think they'll do that. But I've obviously saw a bit of Cumnock too. I was really impressed with him and all. I like their manager. He's a good manager. Tough game, man. Yeah. Tough game, man. Yeah, brilliant, but listen, very good. Good games to go and watch if you get the opportunity, I'll tell you that.
Definitely, yeah. Big results. Obviously, 3 West teams as well out of 4, so it's going to be, we're 75% likely to get a West of Scotland winner, which will continue, obviously, the record over the past few years. But brilliant for the West, and obviously a couple of exciting games to go and see. We'll look at the games in the Premier Division. We'll obviously start, we'll look at the kind of leagues during the weekend as well, but I want to obviously talk about West Park United and your kind of making the decision to get into the West. We obviously think of West Park United. Some people will maybe know, if they don't really know about the kind of amateur side of the game and things like that, they'll think West Park United came from nowhere. Really good amateur team back in the day, obviously with the ambition of getting into the West. What was the kind of decision to go to take that step up, and how exciting has it been for the club?
For the club, I mean, so I'll try and get it as quick as we can. I was at West Park, had all the boys for they were 9 and 8 year old. Took them right through 21, saw the rest of it, and at 21s obviously ends. There's nothing there. Mm-hmm. So I found myself feeding junior clubs or in, particularly the ones close by. And didn't like it, to be honest. Didn't like the fact that we'll take them to a level and we were always a good 21s and stuff. And then they're passing them on to the junior teams and getting nothing for it and nothing out of it. And I'm thinking, this isn't right. But the club wasn't quite ready for moving up the ranks as such like that. And the committee and all that wasn't as strong as we wanted it to be. So the club just left it like that for a few years, and then got to 21s. I ended, I finished, and my boys moved on, and then the committee came back to me 2 years later and said, "How do you fancy going amateur? Because we're going to try and go right through and see how we go." He said, "Go amateur in the first year, see how you cope, see what team you get together, and then we'll take it from there." So we done that. We got into the amateur league, into the Central Scottish, and we won that league, and we've done all right. Well, doing good, and thinking, right, okay. Then the committee come back and say, "What's your next move?" And I said, "Well, your next move's obviously the best of Scotland." I said, "Obviously the financial backing and trying to get the club something that when the kids come through, they've got something there and they don't just move on to somebody else." So that was the plan a way back, but it just took a lot longer than probably we wanted. But when that came up, and then we heard that there was rumours going about that this was the last opportunity to get in to the West, with so many teams been allowed to come in this year, last season. So we thought, right, do you know what, we'll just do it. Just do it. What's the worst that can happen? I mean, the worst that could happen was we'll sit mid-table in the 4th division until we get stronger and just build it. I mean, we're not a club that's thinking to ourselves, right, we're just going to run through leagues and become a Premier Division team in 3 years or 4 years. That's not happening. We're just dipping our toe in, feeling our way, and we'll happily do that until we get it right. I mean, it's brilliant for the club and it's brilliant for the people at Bishop Briggs and surrounding areas that we're going to have a bit of competition for Roswell. Well, that's rivals. So, it's great and been brilliant so far. Harder than I thought. Much harder to manage. But I love it. It's good, we're all happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, like, some of the players that are there as well. Like, kind of last season, like Stephen Graham was absolutely was brilliant last year for Glasgow United. Eddie Fearns obviously was doing well at Gartcairn. These players are kind of they're taking maybe like taking a step down is maybe the wrong choice of words, but there's a project there, and it's obviously, as you say, it's finding that level, and obviously I think a few clubs in the 4th division are of the same idea going forward, but to get players like that as well and on board, and there seems to be a tight knit. Anytime you kind of look at the social media and things like that, a lot of the players respond to you and things. So there's a lot of, it seems to be a real tight squad you've got.
Aye, so Stefan, I had for a boy. Stefan was my boy. He was one of my boys for he was a young Wayne. So we always had him. The problem was getting him back.
Yeah.
And by the way, let's not mess about. I mean, the financial side of it, we weren't offering him anything, and he was getting good money.
Aye.
So I'm trying to sell him back to something that was just us and what we were about. And to be fair to Stefan, didn't even think about it. It was I'm back. And to be honest, it's the same way a lot of the other boys. I mean, Eddie Fearns we've just got recently, but Eddie's come up because of Big Bryson, who Bryson was another one that went through junior football and all the rest of it, and he knows a couple of the boys in the team, was always older than us, got him in, loves it. He then gets onto Eddie, and the rest is what's like that. I mean, it's no just him. I mean, a lot of the other boys that probably people don't know about, we're all in junior ranks, but we're all part of my team for 10 years. So it's just about getting them all back and asking them to do it on the back and not getting a penny for it.
Aye.
That was the hardest thing, because some of them were offered seriously good money for big clubs. So you're asking them to drop divisions, no take any cash, expenses or whatever you want. It was hard.
Yeah.
But to see the project, and we Stefans in particular, we're talking about him. So we Stefan is a boy that plays his own confidence. And I've always allowed him to do what he wants. Just do what you want. Simple as that. And that's why he loves it. So I think Stefan's here till we go through the full system together, and we'll see how we go. And if we end up in the second, if we end up in the fourth, we'll get a crack anyway. And that's a lot of the thought of all the players. And they are tight, you're right. They're a right tight group. But I think that shows when they're the way they play and the results and stuff that you're tight. It's just the way it's always going to be with us. But we're a decent outfit because they've all known each other for years.
Aye, absolutely. And I think like the kind of league this season, like obviously it's still at the early stage of kind of teams coming in and things like that. I think you've got a bit of a different, obviously like yourselves coming in with the ambition, Kilsyth Athletic, obviously they're flying as well. Threave have obviously made that step for the south, and we've spoken about that a lot. Like they've got that ambition as well. There's a lot of good sides in that league, and as you can tell, obviously you are sitting in second, but Kilsyth are sitting at top. You're on a really good run as well. St Peters, Threave, Thorn. There's a lot of clubs with a lot of ambition, and it makes for a quality league.
Oh, listen, I can't say this enough, by the way, right? People, you're right, Threave, Kilsyth, St Peters, odd good teams, ourselves, Thorn. But see, even the other teams, I think they get missed a wee bit.
Yeah.
Like your Glenville, Easterhouse. I mean, Easterhouse is out at the weekend, you'll probably talk about that later. But we've beat them. But we didn't it wasn't just turn up and do what we want. We've had to battle. Even the Eglinton, I know people are going to say, that, like, shut up, you won 7-1 against Eglinton. We've had to fight Eglinton to win 7-1.
Yeah.
There's some decent teams going about. And that league's as tough as any, I think. I mean, every game we've played, we've had to work. I mean, we beat Campbelltown 8-3, right? And people going, oh, that was an easy game. Well, see if you were there. I think it was 2-1 at half time. And they had a couple of chances and stuff. Second half, we dominate it and take over, but we had to win the battle first. And I think there's a lot in that. Because the fourth division's very, very good. I think, anyway, for being the bottom tier of the West of Scotland, I think it's a very good league, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we'll touch on, obviously, like later on, we'll touch on like West Park's game and Saturday, and obviously like a couple of interesting games coming up. We did have some action in the leagues over the weekend. Beath went top. Obviously, Darvel playing in the Scottish, so Beath had the chance to go top of the table. They had to work for it. A 3-2 away win over Kilwinning. Josh Fowler with a double. Kilwinning, obviously, Chris Aitkins now with the manager at the Buffs. Again, Beath, they just keep winning.
By the way, I quite fancy Beath. I like Beath. I know everybody's all Darvel and Talbot and all the rest of it, but Beath are quietly just doing their business and going about it. Decent. I know wee Blair Rossiter. I know Blair. It's there. Brilliant wee football player. I know, very talented. I'm keeping a wee note at Beath. I think Beath. Although what I will say is I've not saw a lot of Kilwinning, and people tell me that Kilwinning is one of the better football teams in the league. So I can't comment on it because I've not seen too much of them, but I hear that they're a very, very good football side.
Yeah, I think that I've said for weeks they've been in a false position. Obviously, David leaving, I think I don't know what's happened there, but I think Chris coming in is the right sort of guy. I think he's the right sort of guy to play football. Obviously, a good time at East Kilbride. He's known in the game. He's well known in the game. He can attract players, which I think is a big thing for Kilwinning as well. And I do think they will get going. I think Chris is. There was talk that it was going to be somebody else. It certainly didn't happen. But I think Chris is the right appointment.
Aye, brilliant. I mean, listen, that's a brilliant setup down there. We went down there to play Eglinton.
Yeah.
Down there, and where else you want to play, man? Brilliant. Go down there and play down there, man. Happy days. If you've got the contacts in the game and make that team stronger, then good luck to you. I mean, by the way, 3-2 against Beath. It's another tight game, isn't it?
I know, it's a really good game as well.
That's what you want, isn't it? I mean, I think as a spectator, these are the games you want to go and watch.
Yeah,
I think it's brilliant.
Definitely. Another interesting game at the weekend was Auchinleck 2, Paul at 1. Auchinleck continue this winning run as well. They're only 9 points behind Beath, obviously, with 4 games in hand in Beath, 3 games in hand in Darvel. Again, Auchinleck, we wrote them off at the start of the season, but they just keep winning as well. Shanker's got a goal as well. Again, Auchinleck and Pollock at home, you think it's always going to be a tight affair, but it's a massive result for Auchinleck.
Aye. Listen, I mean, I'm only going to talk from my point of view. I'm in the amateur side of it. For me, Talbot were always the big team in the West are in junior football, right? So Talbot are massive. Pollock are known through everywhere. That's never going to be an easy game for any manager to do. I mean, that's going either like that. And obviously, what I will say is, like, Maxie's obviously not that long in, so he's still trying to set his team up the way he wants it. He's probably not got it the way he wants it right now, if I'm being honest. He'll obviously have players in mind and stuff. So you're going down to Talbot. It's that's no an easy game. So I feel a wee bit for Maxie because he's probably in a transition. I try to change things and stuff. So listen, he's only going to get better. Paul will get better, and Talbot are just getting stronger and stronger anyway.
I think Talbot, I seriously think Talbot will get going again as well. They're on a really good run. And again, I think they play Beath in a couple of weeks as well. It's going to be a massive game.
Big tell.
Yeah. And again, Auchinleck are just doing what they're doing. They're just trying to take advantage of those games in hand. And as you say, if it becomes a title race with Auchinleck's background, and I think Auchinleck are certainly well worth keeping an eye on. Big result for Largs, a 5-0 home win over Atherley. Lewis with a double, Ramsey, Folds and Martin with the goals. Again, Largs, at the start of the season, we're thinking, how were Largs going to be? I think they'd lost a couple of big players, but they've replaced them pretty well over the past few weeks. They've been kind of off and on, but a big 5-0 win. Atherley, very disappointing for them. They'll be wanting to get some wins on the board quickly.
Well, see that result, isn't. I mean, I watched Largs and Petersall last Friday night. I think it was 2 Fridays.
Petersall 1-2-1.
Yeah. By the way, honestly, I came away for the game, and I'm not going to disrespect Petersall because Petersall is one of my local teams. But I came away from that game thinking, how did Largs get beat there? I thought Largs were very, very good. Very good. They were nippy, fast moving. The rotations were brilliant. I thought they were very good. I thought they were a very good team. And I thought, how did they get beat? I think they lost a couple of set pieces. And what I will say is they were quite small and technical. And maybe that's how they got done at the set pieces. But when I saw that result, I know a boy that plays for Atherley and that. And that's still a shocker. I mean, for Atherley to get beat like that surprises me. It didn't surprise me Largs won because I thought Largs were very good. But for Atherley to lose 5, I thought it's no like them.
I saw Craig's comments
after the Darvel result and stuff and all.
Exactly.
I think there's confidence in that.
Yeah, and I saw Craig's comments after the game as well. And any time I've spoke to him, he always tells you exactly how it is, and he was very, very critical of the performance and things like that. And again, it will just be they've got the players to stay up. They're more than capable of getting there. It's going to be tight down at the bottom now. You've got teams winning games there as well. We thought we did think maybe there was the bottom two were a bit behind, but they've clawed it back as well. And we're touching Cambuslang next, but again, Atherley will not be wanting to get dragged into that.
No, I mean, listen, you minute you start getting dragged into it, you start to feel the nerve, don't you?
Yeah.
So you want to keep up the results as much as you possibly can, and let's not be messing about. I mean, Atherley want to stay in the middle area and try and stay away from that, and a couple of bad results can drag you in. And there's other teams. I mean, Petersall. I watched Petersall, and they're picking up results. I know. I mean, they're getting better, and maybe not getting the result. If they went on a wee run, I mean, I know they're behind, but a couple of good results can pull people in. I mean, I wouldn't want to be in the middle getting dragged on a wee bit. This is where you want your 40 hit going up the way.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll move into a big result for Cambuslang, 4-3 away to Irvine Meadow. Scott Anson scored a double. Again, if you were in Irvine, you get your money's worth on Saturday, and that's Cambuslang. It takes them off bottom spot, and it's a hard-fought victory.
Aye, man. That's no easy to go down there and get a victory, is it?
Certainly not.
Certainly not. Big Anson scoring again. But listen, I wouldn't be counting out Canby either.
No.
Their problem results I know. I think what's going to happen is that the teams who go on a wee run, maybe 3 or 4 wins or 3 or 4 without a defeat, puts you right back in it. I mean, people are going to get dragged in and people are going to try and get out the bottom. It's a hard game. It's not easy.
Absolutely. Another result, Clydebank 2, Petershill 1. Again, Clydebank just continue to... They had a tough defeat the other night, obviously against Darvel. But just getting back to winning ways, they were a really good run before that, and it was a hard fought. I don't think Petershill made it easy. But Clydebank's a big 3 points and obviously puts them 2 points behind Pollock in 4th.
Aye. I mean, Clydebank, they're another team with a brilliant manager, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, Moffat's brilliant,
and they struggled at the start. It's been a big recovery as well, because I remember, I keep saying this, I say this to anybody I remember the game against Troon. I watched them at the start of the season. There was a lot of heads down in that Clydebank support after that defeat, so to claw it back, it's been brilliant.
Aye, no, they're just getting better. They'll get better and better, I know.
Yeah.
Petershill, listen, Petershill get beat 2-1, but I wouldn't say it's a result they don't want, obviously.
Yeah.
But I mean, 2-1 against Clydebank's not the worst.
No, definitely not.
Right. And by the way, I seen the penalty on the clip.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure for the angle I seen. I'm not sure that the line was got that right. But I mean, anyway, Peasy will be feeling deflated with that. But I think they've got to take a wee bit out of it and say, right, we're getting closer. I mean, early on in the season, they were getting a bit of doing of it a lot. But they're getting closer to teams and they're getting a wee bit better and more solid. So, Clydebank are a very, very good team, and Peter Sala just trying to improve, isn't he? So it's not a worse result, to be honest, 2-1.
Yeah, absolutely. Big result for Rob Roy as well. They won 2-0 away to Troon. I think that's their first win since, obviously, Stuart left. Big result for Rob Roy. Obviously, Troon, they've been a little disappointing as of late. Like, they'll be, start of the season, we thought Troon were maybe going to be kind of up towards kind of mid-table. They've struggled a wee bit. I do think Jimmy and Dean will get it spot on there, though. But Rob Roy, they'll be buzzing with that just to get back a win on the board after a difficult few weeks.
Aye, I mean, I know a boy at Rob Roy, his dad works with me. They've been struggling. They've been struggling badly. They needed that. They really needed that badly. But there again, that's team that's learning off a different coach, isn't it? It's a transition again, trying to change things. Lost a couple of players and trying to bring people in, and this happens. It'll take a wee bit of time. It's probably not the right time. They don't want to get dragged in again there, but I think Rob Roy will be all right. I think Rob Roy are decent.
Yeah,
be all right.
I think obviously as well, when you like Stuart had worked wonders at Rob Roy, like a team maybe like obviously squad wise, I think a lot of people thought like with Rob Roy, they maybe weren't as like their squad, they were maybe overachieving, but they're more than that squad. It's a good squad, and it's maybe similar to like it's a tight squad. There are a lot of the boys know each other well. They'll be fine. I think they'll be fine, and even as well, if it gets tight, I would like to think that they'll do pretty well as well. I think a lot of these teams as well, it's really hard to call. Like if a team gets a couple of a run going, they're more than capable of just climbing about 6 or 7 places, and that's them. So again, just similar to all the leagues, it's just if you get a run going, you could be climbing up the table. First division, let's get into that. We'll start with the big game. Drumchapel moved to the top of the table, a 3-0 win over Benburb. This league's had about 30 different league leaders again in Drumchapel. They're just in a really good run as well. They're just, again, they've got the quality, they've got a lot of good players. I think we do have, like, I think between the kind of top 4, I think they're the team I would say probably have the most in terms of quality at the moment.
I watched the drum playing Elgin, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Elgin. I watched that. Aye, I mean that was a tough game anyway. But the drummer, I also watched them against Kilsyth. I went to watch Kilsyth. It was in the cup or something earlier on in the season. Aye, the drum have got quality players, man. They're a decent team. And by the way, they're only getting stronger, I know.
Yeah.
They're just getting better and better. I mean, you'd be listen, it's a tough ask, isn't it? It's a tough ask to bet against the drum, but I don't know if I'd bet against the drum right now.
I think they're in a good place as well. I think the Scottish Cup run's done wonders for them as well. They've got players like David Templeton in there, like Daniel Finnegan, Martin Gray, and they've got a lot of good players in that team as well. And again, if it becomes a tight race, which it's looking as if it's going to, they're more than. I think they've got a good hand if they want to be title challengers. Kilburn went to St Cadoc's and won 3-0 again. Just this league, just 2 teams. I think you would have thought that's maybe going to be a tight game, but Ross McKenzie again, I think that's 6 goals in 2 games, a double for him. Brilliant result for Kilburn.
I don't know what's happened to the Cadoc's. What's going on with them?
I don't know, because I know, like, they're obviously bringing in a lot of players, and it's difficult to work out because they're bringing in a lot of players.
Well, we played them obviously in the cup, and they were the best team we played. There's no away from that.
They're a really good side.
They're a right good side. They were 2-1 up, and as we were getting a bit of pressure for 15, and we hoped to get something we didn't, and then we went for it and they killed us, which was fine. We accepted that. But on that day, they lost Big Erskine that day against us. I don't know if he's back. Is he back? I don't know if he's back.
I don't think so.
He's a big player for them, man. He's massive. I mean, his movements and running and travelling with a ball is tremendous. So he'll be a big loss to them. And if he's not been back since that game, that might be an answer to why they're getting a few results against them. But what I will say is, I mean, still some result for Kilburn.
Yeah.
3-0. I mean, but then Cadoc's got beat with Threave the week before, didn't they? And there was a wee bit of dipping going on there, and they're not like that.
Yeah, I think, like, again, I don't know. I think there's a lot of players at St Cadoc's as well, and it's hard to keep them all happy. Like, again, there's a lot. You look at their team sheet every week, and you're thinking, like, that's half the teams in the Premier Division would kill for players in their bench. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of players. It's just going to be, and I think John will. If there's anybody that can manage a team well, it's John Doyle. So he'll know what he's doing. They've just obviously they'll want to forget about the Threave result, and they'll certainly want to kick on for losing 3-0 to a title challenger as well. Because I do think the top four, maybe Johnson and Benburb as well, that the top six, I think they're a lot of they're a team that a lot of people would say it's hard to split them, but I think like St Cadoc's, they'll be wanting to make sure that they get a run going because they'll not want to fall behind one of them.
Aye, no, I mean, listen, we played the Cadoc's, we played Benburb and all. St Cadoc's were the best team we played football wise. I mean, I thought they're another team. Their rotations were unbelievable. They just movement was brilliant. I mean, I said it after it. They were brilliant to watch. They've obviously hit a wee dip after us, but I still think they've got the quality in that team's unbelievable. I mean, they'll go on a wee run again and win 3 or 4 in their own. They'll be back in there again.
Yeah.
Benburb's the same with their tough nuts to crack and all. I mean, listen, it's a very, very tough league, isn't it?
Yeah, it is that. As that, obviously, as well. Big result for Neilston going to Gartcairn and winning 1-0. Said it's just the way this league works as well. Like you think Neilston, they obviously had a big win last week, and to go to Gartcairn and win 1-0, it's just going to work wonders for them.
Well, they'll get confidence for that. That's a big confidence boost for Neilston. They'll just get better for that. That'll make them feel a bit better about themselves. Gartcairn, on the other hand, won't be like that. I mean,
no,
that's not what they want to be doing, is it? I mean, they're up the top and then they're dropped and Drums took over and St Cadoc's are into 4th or whatever it may be. I mean, it's changing dramatically.
And it just shows you if you've one defeat, you could lose about 3 places in the league. It just shows you that's how the tight leagues work.
Is that not why we all love it? But I think it's part of it and it's brilliant.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. It's the content.
It's the same with the boatmen. The boatmen's the same.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I want to get your thoughts. Obviously, Cumbernauld won, Whitless 2. I think that's a massive result for Whitless. I don't think Whitless have won since October in the league. Obviously, as well, Cumbernauld, Tony Fraser's resigned. I feel for Tony because I think they have been in a really, really poor run, and I think obviously, like managers, you'll know better than me. I think they put a lot of it on themselves, but it's difficult. It's difficult when you're in that run and you feel that responsibility. It's difficult, isn't it?
We've all been there. I mean, it's you blame yourself for everything. Decision making every day, every night. You think about everything you do in training.
Yeah.
Every single thing's analysed, but it always comes back to you, and you put it on yourself. I mean, every manager will tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know Tony personally, but he's obviously got to a point where he's went, right, man, it's no working. Change is required. Let's move on. I mean, good luck to whatever he does next.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, Cumbernauld a big club, I know. So it's a job for anybody. That I mean, you need to go in there and pick up the boys and all the rest of it. But aye, I'm sure they'll be all right in the end. I know a couple of boys up there and I know that played at Damaser's Tavern. But aye, listen, you don't want managers to chuck football, do you? You want to stay in the game.
You certainly don't. Yeah. And it's always like like when you hear a manager resigning, like particularly at this level, it's hard to hear because you've obviously speaking to managers and things like that. It's difficult to hear that they kind of think that they're struggling. It's hard to hear and things like that. But I know Tony will get another job anytime because he's more than capable. But a brilliant guy, brilliant manager. Big result for Rossvale, a 2-1 win at home at St Roch's, and it just shows you as well. Rossvale, I think a lot of you'll know this as well. I think a lot of people were thinking there was problems there. That result, it can just be a big boost for them.
Listen, I've watched a lot of Rossvale actually. I've watched a lot of them and all because they've played a few Fridays and stuff, and I get the opportunity to see them. By the way, fair play to Kev.
No, definitely.
Kevin and the team up there have done a brilliant job. By the way, I mean they've really lifted them.
It's been difficult situations, and I think they've been really good.
And they've got better and better. And I mean, St Roch's will not be happy with that result. St Roch's is my local team. They're my team I've went to watch. That's where I was born and bred. I mean, I obviously want the Rock to win, but they've not had a couple of good results lately, and I know they'll not be happy with that. That fan base will not be happy with that result at all. But they're still in the mix. They're still in the middle there. I mean, a couple of results and they're back up. I'm going to get caught up in it now. But it's a result that, let's be honest, getting into it, the Rock fans would have wanted to win that game massively. They think that's 3 points. So to lose it, they'll not be happy with. But I've been watching Kev's team quite a few games lately, and they're improving. They're getting better all the time. And good luck to Kev. It's a hard year and a half or so, or 2 years, whatever it may be. So, good luck to them.
Yeah.
They're our rivals locally, but I know how hard this game is, so
Yeah,
good luck to us.
absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Final game, Bonnet won, Thornleywood won again. Probably a result when you look at the league table. Two sides, probably similar league positions. A draw there. Second division, Renfrew, Friday night football saw Renfrew go to Glasgow Uni. Renfrew, they've had a difficult league run. They haven't won in the last 4 games, but they certainly found the right time for a performance. 4 goals for Kieran Diver, a 6-0 away win over Glasgow Uni. I think Renfrew needed that. I think as well, Kieran Diver scoring 4. They've been top of the league, but they've not been the results. They've not been getting the results the past few weeks, and it just sets down a marker, doesn't it? That result of that.
Well, so I feel as if I'm going on about your cup run, but we had bloody Renfrew or not, didn't we? And by the way, they were very good.
They're a really good side, yeah.
They're a very good side. And when you look at their results in the past few weeks, I'm going like, my God, how hard is this? Because I know how good Renfrew are.
Mm-hmm.
So Big Diver scoring 4, he's capable, more than capable of that.
Yeah.
That's a brilliant result for Renfrew, to be fair. They'll kick on again.
Yeah.
They're mine in that league. They're decent. They're real decent.
Another good side in that league as well. They're now Ashfield, a 3-0 away win to St Anthony's. Again, 2 sides that were keen about the top of the league. Bobby Barr with a hat trick, though. Again, I feel as if I speak about Bobby Barr every week. He's just a massive player for Ashfield.
Another team that we've been well, mate. I've played them in pre-season. I know Mick and stuff when they were at Hairstains last year. We played them a couple of times. I know how good these teams are. Believe this or not, I actually tipped him. They were my tip at the start of the season. I knew Mick and that would go in there and do really well because I knew how good his Hairstains team were.
Mm-hmm.
They're organised. He works on it, disciplined, brilliant, got good players, and I knew he would take a lot of them there. I'm not really surprised by Ashfield, if I'm being honest, because I know how good they are. I know how good his players were. I know how good he is. He's a real good coach, real good. So I tipped him on the back of no seeing Renfrew. So once I played Renfrew, I went, oh, wait a minute, this could be. That's going to be a good challenge up the top of that, you know.
Yeah, and I think there's teams as well. Like Glasgow Perthshire 1-2-1 at home to Maryhill. We speak about it all the time. Another massive result for them. Ardere beating 4th. That was maybe a result that surprised a lot of people. Ardere on a poor run. 4th, I think, have been unbeaten since. I know when Thomas was on, they were unbeaten since like October or something like that in the league. And that's their first defeat, but a big win for Ardere. Obviously, it moves them into 13th. Big result.
Aye. Again, 4th in a row on a good run, but then took them right up. They started not too clever, and then got better and better and better. Listen, 1 defeat doesn't kill your season, does it? I'm sure 4th will come back and be all right. They're all right. They're a good team and all. They're decent.
Yeah. Yoker went to Kilsyth and 1-3-1. Wishaw 3, Glasgow United 2. Again, teams like Yoker, Wishaw in particular, big result for them, 3-2. Obviously, Glasgow United really struggling at the moment. But Wishaw, I mean, it puts them like a win like that, and it puts them, they'll be wanting to stay up now after that because they're now in the mix. There's only 2 points between them and Maryhill in 14th, and then if you can get another one in the board, it can just lead you on to another a really big run, and they can move up that league.
Well, that's it. It's a wee bit of momentum. If you get a wee bit of momentum going and get a couple of wins, then the table starts to look a hell of a lot better.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I've watched Yoker. I feel as if I'm good enough for bloody junior.
You played a lot of teams of pre-season,
but I watched Yoker. Yoker were playing a team in our league pre-season, and I went to watch it because I wanted to see standards and stuff. And I was really impressed with Yoker. Now, I know Yoker were in the Scottish Cup final and stuff, but I was impressed, really impressed with their football. I thought their football was brilliant. I thought the way they tried to play and go about it was really good.
Yeah.
But then I started to watch the results, and they weren't great at the start, I don't think, and then started to pick up again. So I like Yoker. I think Yoker are a decent team. So I think they're a good football team. Try and play the right way. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Other results: Greenock 1, Muirkirk 2. Really entertaining game. All reports at Maybole 2, Craigmark 2. Again, you could call that an Ayrshire derby, but they're probably the 2 sides in Ayrshire most opposite to one another in terms of distance. But again, just 2 teams. Like, there's a lot of teams in this league that are capable of promotion. I think that could be a really tight league because you look at Renfrew are obviously sitting in 35 points. 4th are sitting in 7th and 28. There's only 7. I know teams have got games in hand, but when you look at that league, there's only 7 points between 1st and 7th, and they're all capable of being up there at the end of the season.
Aye, so one of them might come up with surprises. I mean, people. Aye. I know that when I'm speaking about it, I keep thinking Renfrew and Ashfield and stuff, but listen, one of them could come up not a problem with a few victories. You know what I mean? And Renfrew getting back on again with a win now, they might just go away again. Listen, that's just why I like it. I like watching this. This is what we're getting to the tasty end of the season.
We're getting to the good part of the season. Third division, we've got new league leaders. Lanark won 2-0 at home to Kello, and Ardrossan lost 2-1 at home to Irvine Victoria. Again, Lanark just keep on winning, and Ardrossan, I think Irvine Vics, I've said it for a while, Irvine Vics certainly are worth keeping an eye on because they've got a lot of good players. And it just shows you, like Lanark, Ardrossan, Irvine Vics, there's some good teams in that league, and again, they're more than capable of beating each other.
Aye, that's what I say this every week when I watch this results in this table, this league. I say it all the time. I said they all beat one another constantly. That's a real difficult league, I know. It's hard work. It's not going to be easy if you get there.
Nah, definitely not. Carluke won 3-1 away to Dalry. Big result for them. Well, Les Mahago 4-2 away to Saltcoats. Vale Clyde, obviously, they keep on winning. They won 2-1 at home to Vale Leaving. Lugar 2, Royal Albert 1, Port Glasgow 4, East Kilbride Thistle 1, and Newmains United 0, Girvan 3. What results got you in that league?
Well, I played Vale Clyde, played them twice down there. Good team, I know. A good team. It doesn't surprise me the runs they go, and when they've won, I think they won like 10 in a row or something. It was something ridiculous anyway.
Beat Petershill as well in the cup.
Aye, I mean,
I think they're still in the south as well. They beat Thornton Hibs.
Their striker, I can't remember his name, the boy. Very good player, man.
Yeah.
Good player, good finisher. Aye, decent team, I liked them. I think they were, only because I've seen a lot of them, because I've played them a couple of times. I quite fancy them to do alright, to be fair.
Yeah, but you're beginning to see, like, Larkhall have got games in hand, but Lanark are sitting in 49 points, Les Mahago are in 41, Larkhall, I think, they've obviously got games in hand. Kello, I think they might just be like beyond kind of getting up now, but you've still got a lot of teams in there. Ardrossan have got a lot of talent. Like Lanark on a really good run. Again, just at the top of that table, there's a lot of good sides in there.
Well, mate, without repeating ourselves, I mean, it is one of the ones. If you get a couple of wins, 2 or 3 wins is just you're boosted right up, and other people have a couple of slip ups, then you're away, and that's what you want. Build momentum at this time of the season, then you're on it. That's it.
Yeah.
If you can do it, it brings confidence if you can get it now.
Definitely.
If you start to see the line, you start to we're in this here. So that's going to get exciting. I know as the weeks go through in the next few weeks.
Yeah, big results for Lugar and Carluke as well at the other side of the table. They're 2 teams as well that will be able to get a run going as well. Carluke have won the last 2 games. Lugar ended, I think they've won 2 out of the last 6. They'll be wanting to get another one on the board. We'll move on to the 4th division. We'll obviously start with West Park United, a 3-0 win at home to BSC. What was the overall takeaways for the game?
Listen, it's 3-0. We're happy with the result. Of course, we weren't at our best, if I'm being honest. But I don't want to take anything away from BSC. BSC came in for the first 20 minutes or so. I thought to myself, we're in a real game here. This was tough. They were quite I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody, but they were quite athletic, as in fit and strong, and they didn't give us a minute. And I thought, well, we're going to be in a game here. But once we got to grips with shape, set up, how we wanted to do it, we dominated the game after that. In 3-0, we could have scored more, probably should have. But BSC never went away. They just keep coming back. And I keep saying this about this league. That's why I was saying earlier. Even the games we won 7 and people go, it was a doddle. And I went, no, it wasn't. It wasn't a doddle, man. We had to work our butts off for it. Every boy absolutely putting everything into winning that. So, without being disrespectful to BSC, we won in the end comfortably. But BSC were there for a lot of the game. Decent. We've got them in the last game of the season, and it's not somewhere I'm looking forward to going, if I'm being honest.
Definitely not. Big result of that, the league obviously on Saturday was Easterhouse 4-3, Rovers 0. Did you see this result coming? Because I didn't. A massive result for Easterhouse and Mark's team. Huge.
Mark's team. Right, listen, Mark. I like Mark. Mark's a good boy. He's a good boy, man. And Easterhouse gave us 2 good games again. We maybe beat them 2-0 twice, I think, home and away. And again, battles, absolute battles. I don't think we were never any danger of losing the games, but there were battles. And I said that the second time they came to Hunters Hill, they were getting better. They were stronger. They were starting to look like a team that was all working for each other. So, did I still see them beating 3-4-0? No, I didn't. I'm not going to sit here and say anything different. I thought 3 would go there and maybe win 4-0. Because 3 are decent.
Yeah, they're a good side. 3
for me are. I'm fed up even thinking about 3. I don't know what's going on with them. because, in all honesty, they're the best football team we've played in this league. And that's no disrespect to Kilsyth or any other team in that. I just think football team, as in moving the ball about, the rotations, the movement, everything was brilliant. They were very good. We beat them in the end, but it was a hard game. But I thought they were good to watch, and you could see why people are investing in that. But the results are just mental. I don't get it. I don't know if they're underestimating people. I hope they're no. I hope that's not what's happening. I've had a check at their team sheets for Saturday against Easterhouse, and there's a couple of changes, but no major. So I think we need to credit Easterhouse here and go.
Definitely, absolutely.
Listen, 4-0. I mean, if I can get anything like that down at 3 in a couple of weeks, I'll bite your horn off.
And that's it as well. Like, even if Easterhouse had won 2-1, you were thinking that's still a massive result. It's 4-0.
Massive.
4-0. It's
By the way,
unbelievable. And they've got a lot of young players in the team as well. Obviously, they're academy, but when the young players, they'll take a real buzz from that.
Oh, by the way, they're only going to get better, no?
Yeah.
They're another team that's going to get better. I keep saying this all the time about Easterhouse. I like them. They're going to be all right. I like Big Danny. It's in charge at Easterhouse, man. Better guy you'll know, mate. But I think they'll just get better and better, and that club's just going to get bigger and bigger. But getting to 3, I don't get it. All credit to Easterhouse, by the way. Brilliant. But 3's results are just shocking. If go and beat St Cardops, who are a very, very good team in the cup.
Yeah.
And then you come away and get beat at Easterhouse, which, no disrespect to Easterhouse, we all thought 3 would win that game. Mate, crazy. Yeah. And by the way, we're all in that wanting that top 3.
No, definitely.
So 3 have now let St Peter's come and invited them into it. And that's fair play to St Peter's or not, because they don't go away either. They're still there.
Yeah. Dempsey, Frady and Crossan with the goals for St Peter's. They won 3-0 away at Campbelltown. Kilsyth, obviously, a team I want to get your thoughts on. I think they're the only unbeaten running team in the West at the moment. They're obviously a top class side.
Listen, man, fair play to Bailey and his squad up there.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Very good. Brilliant. They've got pace everywhere. I like them. I really like them. And I like the job he does. He's a cracking boy, Bailey. Obviously, we'll be rivals to them, and we're going to be, but it's a nice rivalry. I don't mind it. The two want the same thing. We want to win the league, of course, but promotion's obviously most important. Kilsyth, I've watched them a few times. I've voted them in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, I was going to. I'll get your thoughts on that in a wee minute.
Go about their business well. I like them. I like the way they do it. I know. They just go quietly, do their stuff, put their stuff out on social, and let's go and nip one to the next one. Got a lot of good players. Young and all.
Yeah.
Young players and all. Which means they're going to grow and all as a team. And I think that's one thing I'll say about Kilsyth. They're a very, very good unit. They're they're tight, really tight.
Yeah. Other results in the 4th division: Thorn Athletic 1, Harmony Road 0, and Glenvale 2, Eglinton 1. What was your kind of takeaways for the 2 results?
So Thorn, I watched Thorn against WOSFL the week before, and I thought structured well, looked decent. We've got them this Saturday. Looking forward to that game, if I'm being honest. It's a game I think it'll be a decent game, to be honest.
Yeah.
Thorn, that obviously Barry's in it, and he's come in and got a couple of players. I know a couple of the players that he's got in.
Yeah.
A couple of boys that used to be at St Martin and that, and
new stadium as well.
Aye, the whole club's they're on the up, aren't they? So it's a good feel factor about at Thorn. They're the only team that's took points off Kilsyth. So they've got something about them. Let's no mess about there. And I think they could be the one that maybe sneak up a wee bit. I know the team is different miles away, but they've got a few games in hand and stuff. And I think they'll do all right. Glenvale, I know the boys for Tower of Hearts have been in there as far as I'm led to believe. So no surprise they're starting to win, because they're right good coaches.
Is that what's going on there? I didn't even know.
As far as I listen, I don't know if it's completely done now, but as far as I knew, Andy was going in there for his Tower and getting him a hand in that. So he'll definitely he's good. Andy's good. So Glenvale, I mean, I go back to what I said earlier. We played Glenvale. I think we played in the first game of the season. We were 2-0 up, but we thought cruise control. Before we knew it was 2 each, and then it took us to the last kick of the ball to score and won the game 3-2, I'm sure. And then we went to Glenvale, and I think we won 2-0 that day. And that was, again, absolute battles now. People look at us up at the top and think, oh, they're doing all right. And Glenvale down there, that they're not that great. But in a 2-game, we've played them, we've beaten them 4-0, but it was it was bloody hard.
Aye.
I'll tell you that. I mean, it wasn't easy. So I'm not surprised with Glenville getting a wee result there. That didn't surprise me. They'll get better.
Yeah, obviously as well. This is the kind of first season you've been in the West, and obviously like the plan is, I imagine, with any club getting into the West, it's to get as far out the leagues as possible. But like, you must look at that league and like, you are 10 points behind Kilsyth with 3 games in hand. You must be thinking about promotion already.
I'm not going to lie and say we're no, because we are. Of course we are. I mean, I could sit here and say all the right things that people want to hear. And say, oh no, we don't know until the games are done. Listen, promotion's what we're after. There's no getting away for that. For being honest, we want to win the league.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first, and I'm no shy away for that. We've got 7 games to play, and the way I see it is, you win the 7 games, you win the league. It's as simple as that. That's easier said than done, but that's the facts. I think we need another 9 points or something before we're. I don't dare mass on this. Honestly, people come back and say, "Oh, we need 9 points," and that's.
I take it the league is it. Like, I actually wanted to ask that. Like, I take it, does everybody just play each other 3 times?
We finished mid-April.
Right. Okay. So
we're done after. We've got 7 games left.
Right. So it's home and away. Right. Okay.
Aye. Kilsyth have got 4 games left.
Okay.
So Kilsyth have got a wee bit of an issue with their fixtures. I wouldn't like to be in their position. I'm not trying to play mind games with wee Bailey here, but they play on the 11th against us, and then they don't play again to the 25th, I think.
Yeah.
It's like, but they play I think they play the 25th of this month, and they don't play us until the 11th. They've got 2-week breaks between games all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not ideal, that, if I'm being honest. I mean, I would rather, but we're doing, we're just consistent, we're playing catch up, but Bailey's get the points on the board, and that's what matters. So, I'm looking forward to this run. I think it's going to be very, very good. And listen, the best team will win it. It's as simple as that. Yeah. League table doesn't lie. We played them up there, and we were still finding our feet and all. But we were 2-0 up at half time.
Mm-hmm.
Got a guy sent off. They got a keeper sent off, fair play, by the way, first 5 minutes or something. And then Bailey changed his tactics in the second half. We got a man sent off, and then went 2 each. Fair play to them. Brilliant for them. And then the boy scores a wonder strike for about 30 yards to win it in 90 minutes. And brilliant game of football. And if the 11th is getting like that, I'm really looking forward to the 11th.
Yeah, I think it could be a good game, actually. I think it could be if you're doing nothing on the 11th of March and you want a neutral game, that's probably the game to go to. I think that could be a great title deciders, maybe.
I think it is. I think it is. I mean, I think if I'm doing the maths right, I think if Kilsyth beat us, I don't think we can catch them, because they've only got 1 game left after us. So if they beat us, Sayers, and that'll be the first boy to shake Bailey's hand, by the way, because that's some run they've went on.
Definitely.
I know we've went on a decent run, but for them to do that's excellent. Brilliant.
Iain, it's been an absolute pleasure to be on the show. Best of luck for the rest of the season ahead, and thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Scott, man. Brilliant.
Thanks.
All the best.
Thank you very much to everyone that's tuned in. Please follow us on social media for consistent West of Scotland football coverage. And as always, subscribe to our YouTube and podcast channels for a new episode every week. Thanks very much, everyone. We'll see you soon. Cheers.